right? My father taught me of them.
Never with the likes of her, boy!
This king, the next could undo, and a criminal.
Rob, you better come.
This is where you live.
My mom
I bid you all a fine day.
getting...
Marigold means Mary's gold. If I'm not back soon, my father will look for me.
Huntingdon wants to kill the poachers right now because they are trespassers on the Norman king's property. But Rob intervenes and stops him with force. Huntingdon views the poachers as despicable crooks who should be executed immediately, while Rob views them as impoverished, desperate individuals traveling through the forest in need of food to feed their family. Even worse, the Earl of Huntingdon is furious at Rob Locksley's boldness and declares in front of the sheriff that the Locksleys have seriously humiliated him and that he will never overlook this act of disrespect. The Locksleys are explicitly identified by Robert Huntingdon as his sworn foes. Hugh argues that the poachers should also be given a fair trial back in Nottingham, where their justifications and accounts will be heard, despite the sheriff's desire for them to be immediately punished by beheading for disobeying the king's regulations. The sheriff grants Hugh's request despite not being entirely persuaded, and the two poachers are taken into custody and hauled back to his castle. This hunting competition and its dramatic occurrences would permanently alter the Locksley family's trajectory, as would become clear in the span of the following several days when new episode releases. Robin slips into the Locksley estate once more shortly after the competition, this time in pursuit of Marian Huntingdon, who made an odd comment while designating him as the winner of the hunting competition. Marian had quietly desired that the alleged noblemen who engaged in such heinous deeds should be the ones with blood all over their bodies. Rather than expressing contempt and revulsion for being forced to smear the blood of the fallen poachers on Robin's face to signify that he was the winner of the tournament. Because of this, Robin was able to see how distinct Marian was from the other nobles, and the two clicked right away. Marian quickly repays the favor by going to Robin's modest Sherwood cottage, even though they are unable to speak much during this exchange because of the Huntingdon henchmen as they interrupts and chases Robin away. Right now, Robin and his family are getting ready to travel to one of their fellow forest dwellers' weddings. Joanne notices a shared interest among the kids and extends an invitation to Marian to join them. Marian chooses to go with the family despite being aware that she may face consequences if she does not return home quickly. She is fascinated by discovering the Saxon culture and their custom of being united in marriage by the village elder beneath an oak that they revere. She finds it difficult to accept that marriage may even occur in the absence of the church priest because she was brought up in the rigid limits of Christianity. She also meets Will Gamewell, Robin's cousin, and has a great time during the wedding. In order for Robin to boldly embrace his place of belonging and incorporate it into his identity, Marian advises him to refer to himself as Robin of Sherwood rather than merely using his first name at the same location when they have some time alone. Marian is more than willing to comply with Robin's gentle request for a kiss beneath the mistletoe, which is regarded in his culture as a most holy and fortunate act. Robin is even more attracted to her. Only a few days after their initial encounter, the two young people have a developing romance, but they will undoubtedly encounter difficulties along the road. Marian actually has to confront her harsh and callous father as soon as she gets home, and he severely beats her for both lying about her whereabouts and being displaced from their residence for so long. It's interesting to note that Alwyn, one of Hugh's own workers, betrays him by going to the Nottingham Sheriff's castle to present concrete evidence that Hugh has broken the law. The Earl obviously wants Hugh to be taken into custody and put to death. Many years later, Alwyn was one who persuaded Hugh to accept the sheriff's offer, which permitted the Locksleys to dwell in tranquility in the forest rather than return to their land. As the episode comes to a close, it becomes evident that Alwyn is a man who will stop at nothing to win the favor of the land's masters and does not even think twice to betray his own family.
Did you hear me?
I do. Come on the horse! Why am I here?
The sheriff jailed him. And what charge? Tend to your mother.
Who else was in the cell? You took an oath to uphold the king's law. I have shown you tolerance.
For Saxon!
I wanted to be lenient. In the morning, he shall be hanged by
Even
the neck.
though Alwyn is only indirectly accountable for Hugh's fate, Robin will undoubtedly hold the man accountable, most likely by taking matters into his own hands. The tragic destiny of Hugh Locksley, who is detained by Norman soldiers in the middle of the night, based solely on Alwyn's accusation to the sheriff, is depicted in the conclusion of Robinhood Episode 1. Hugh is simply placed in a detention cell in the Nottingham Castle for the night and informed that his hearing will take place the following morning. Neither he nor his family are informed of the charges against him. Huntingdon had sent his closest goon to make sure Hugh would be slain that night because this was all part of his plot. As a result, the henchman recruits one of the poachers who are still being held captive in the same cell and instructs him to kill Hugh Locksley by stabbing him, offering to release him and his companion in return. The poachers make an attempt to knife Hugh, but what transpires further advances Huntingdon's scheme because they are no longer directly involved in the man's demise. A royal guard enters the jail to break up the battle between Hugh and the knife-wielding poacher. Hugh is the only one who sticks behind to assist the guard survive after the poacher unintentionally kills him and then quickly leaves the scene with his friend. As a result, when the other guards dash to the cell, they discover Hugh Locksley alone with a dead guard, his hands covered in blood and a knife next to him. Hugh is executed by hanging the very next morning after being accused of killing a royal guard. Robin, who had come to learn more about his father's arrest, is also among the throng. When he witnesses his father being set up and murdered by those tasked with upholding the law, it ignites a fire in his vision that will eventually want to ultimately devour all tyrants in England.